Boom. What's up, brother? How you doing? There we
Hey.
go. Hey, everybody. Mike Steele here with Barbecue Champs Academy Live. Man, we got a great show lined up for you tonight. Got Mr. Aaron Leslie with us tonight. We also got James and Arica Dodson. And Lee Hickle's trying to make it. Lee had an emergency that, well, not really emergent. He kind of got some last minute work that he had to get done, and he drove to San Antonio, drove somewhere else, driving back. He said, "Man, if I get back, it's going to be 7:15, and I still got some other stuff." So we may not have Lee tonight, but man, we got a great lineup. It's not going to deter anybody. And Aaron, how you been doing, brother?
Can't complain, man. Had a busy week last week, and trying to get back in the saddle and getting work going again, and getting orders out.
Yeah.
Charcoal and stuff all shipped out. So I've been kind of busy trying to make up from last week being Ace Hardware Show and Austin Rodeo.
Yep. It looks like y'all had a lot of fun down there. Lee told me, man, y'all were slinging food everywhere down there, and that's
we were throwing ribs left and right.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to make a little trip down there to that because I see that being a lot of fun. So, man, we got a few folks coming on here. Chance, appreciate you being here, Mr. Gordon. Thank you for joining us tonight. Free James, yeah, he's gonna be free tonight. I think James is gonna be pretty good. He's got Erica sitting next to him, so. If he gets too bad out of shape, man, I've got her she's going to straighten him out. So, Stephen, appreciate you being here. Efren, thank you for being here. Mr. John, Mr. Shauna, appreciate you joining us tonight. Mr. Lucas from the land down under, man, all the way from Australia. You know, he's up early. So, Emily, thank you for being with Mr. Stephen. Appreciate you joining us tonight, brother. And got Mr. Travis in the house. Thank you for being here, man. Glad you joined us, Travis. I hate to see Frankenstein going. I don't know what you got going on there. So, Mr. Gabe, appreciate you being with us tonight. Lance, good to have you with us. And Gabe, appreciate you being with us. Man, we got quite a few folks on here. So, just getting started, man. I don't know. You got any cook-offs coming up this weekend, Aaron? Or are you sitting at the restaurant?
Yeah, probably gonna be sitting at the restaurant helping these guys out. We got maintenance to do, and this is our second weekend open up on Saturday, and I'm pretty excited about it. So hopefully, we'll see how things go tomorrow and what the schedule looking like. But man, I'm going to stay here and just pump out some sausage and do some barbecue. And
there you go.
On Saturday, do a little slicing. So
yeah. Man, I'm getting excited. Finally got a little cook-off. We're going down to Bow Bridge, Louisiana this weekend. It's maxed out 49 teams, so they filled it completely up. And, man, that's going to be a lot of fun. We've done pretty well down there. That's where they filmed Barbecue USA. We had a reserve and year before last and got third last year. So, man, I don't know. It's a tough crowd down there anytime that you start getting the Adam Gotros and the Jason Whites and all the other 900 good cooks down there in South Louisiana, Brady and all those guys. And man, we got some new upcomers. You know, Josh Michele, man, he's been killing it, and Saul Dupree's been killing it. There's just a lot of good cooks. I need to stop because I'm going to end up leaving some other good cooks' names out there. I could go on forever. I was like, man, I already went down a rabbit hole I shouldn't have ever went down. So. Aaron will be in Weatherford. Don't let him fool you. I done asked him. He said he ain't coming. So. Anyway, but it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun, man. What about Purvis this weekend, man? Dang. His new nickname for me is Mr. Rodeo. I mean, I don't know what it is. San Antonio, Austin.
He just in those big events. I mean, he just does good. He's got good, consistent food that people like, and not real sure. I mean, how else you put it, but he just done a really good job, and it's always there. So.
Yeah, you have to cook good food, which he does, and you have to get dang lucky to get some really good tables. And all I can figure is, man, he must have got on the top 3 scoring tables of all 3 meats: a third chicken, a second rib, a third brisket. You had to have been on the top 1 or 2 scoring tables for that to happen.
It was a pretty mixed score sheet.
Yeah, so it takes a little bit of luck, but man, you have to cook amazingly good food, and that dude is obviously. He nails his food every time because, I think he said, sometime you're the hammer, sometime you're the nail. He got beat up pretty bad in Houston. And he said, man, I was the nail this weekend. And, man, he come back, 2 weeks later and, man, I'm the hammer. Yeah, you are. You bought the sledgehammer on that, man. So,
yeah, that's for sure.
And it's just part of it, and that's what makes barbecue. Sometimes we scratch our heads and, so. Mr. Bob Zaney, there is our new president of BCA. Andy is no longer the president. His election terms run up. He's out, and Bob Zaney got put in. And
Congratulations, Bob.
and I'm saying Zaney. I don't think that's it. It's
It
Zanini.
is Zanini.
Zanini. Yeah, I don't know why I've always said Zaney. It's Zanini. So Suzette said, "You're saying it wrong." I was like, "I've always said it wrong." So,
Hush, hush.
anyway, let's see. Jason, I've had a really good potential for about 12 years now. So, had really good potential for about 12 years. All right. Baliala, looking forward to tonight's show. Mr. Danny Titus, we appreciate you being here as well. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's gonna be a good weekend. The weather looks like it's gonna turn to crap. We've had gorgeous weather here in Shreveport for the last 4 or 5 days, and man, I saw we're supposed to have massive winds, possible hail, and 80% chance of rain on Saturday. So yeah, the conditions are gonna be wonderful. So I don't mind. It can do all that. Man, I don't want no hail. I know they were cooking in Kaufman this past weekend, and I was going to go, and then I was just like, I don't even think it's going to make sanction. If I can't even get points, there's no way I'm going to go. And, man, I guess they must have had some straight line winds come through there. I don't know if it was Saturday morning early in the night. I don't know when it was, but they were saying 60, 70-mile-an-hour winds, flipping tents up everywhere, golf ball size hail, and I'm like going, good gracious. So, them Ford trucks don't do well. Not too many vehicles do well on hail, but man, I'm telling them Ford trucks with them aluminum bodies, they don't like it. So, and then about 30 miles south of Kaufman is the Ennis racetrack, the Texas Motorplex, and I've got one of my racing buddies that's got a friend. He was at the track, and a tornado came through there, hit his trailer. They was in an RV with his family. Flipped it, rolled it about 10 times, killed him, banged up his wife, banged up his kids. Wife had to get some stitches. So, man, that's sad. When you see something like that, it's just like, golly, man, that is horrible that, your trailer gets hit by a dang tornado. So they had some pretty rough winds coming through there. So, yeah, Travis said about 4 a.m. It was a nasty line. Yep. I'm coming on Thursday, Danny. Be there Thursday. I'll probably be there around lunchtime. So probably 11 o'clock's my game plan. Howdy from South Dakota. Hey, Lamar, how are you doing, buddy? That's a super guy right there. So, well, man, I tell you what, let's bring in our I was going to say man of the hour, but we could push him off and just say, let's bring in Arica. She's much prettier. So, anyway, I'm going to give a shout out real quick to these guys, our partners, David with Gunnar Wilhelm. I'm telling you guys right now, if you are needing a knife that will hold an incredible edge, you need to get a Gunnar Wilhelm knife. It's a very inexpensive knife, and the quality of this thing is good as some of my $200 knives. So check them out. B&B charcoal, man, I got my charcoal in today. I got me a pallet of B&B hickory. Love that stuff. Threw me some char logs in there as well. We'll see if we can put them to use after we get everything wrapped. So thank you to B&B Charcoal, part of the B&B team this year, and really appreciate that. Miss Gail with Daigle's Barbecue sauces and glazes. And once again, I have a lot of people keep reaching out to me about this Raider Red meat. So they've got Prairie Fresh Prime. I think they've got naturals now. They've got pork butts as well. And if you are needing them, you can reach out to them. A lot of people are like, how can I find them? So if you can either Google Raider Red Meats in Lubbock, Texas. You can go to Barbecue Champs Academy, bbqchamps.com. Scroll down the bottom of our page, and all of our sponsors are on the bottom of our page. And there's a link that'll take you to their website. Talk to Kirsten. Tell her you heard about it on Barbecue Champs, and let her know what kind of ribs you're wanting, and she will pick them out for you. She's really, really good at getting good quality ribs for you. So, anyway, so there we go. Let's bring in our guys. Let's see. Sunday's going to be nice here in Weatherford. Oh, as of now. Okay. Let's bring in Mr. James and Mr. Arica, Limp Brisket. These guys are awesome. The hood rat's got his head here. How you doing, sweetie? You doing good? Yeah, that's James right there. It looked like the hood rat, man. That's why I had to get that picture. I was like, man, he looks all gangster over here. Is that because he just got first place rib? Man, congratulations on a huge first place finish. And it's only one meet, so it's a first place grand champion at the Rib Cook-Off Association there in Decatur, Texas. I think it was 56, 57 teams.
Yep.
Man, congratulations. That
Thank
had to
you.
feel
Good job,
that was some
guys.
serious competition. When you got 57 teams there, man, that's some competition. So tell us, Tell us how that went.
Well, first of all, I want to give a big shout out to Justin because there was a gentleman named Josh Harden that was going through some medical issues, and the town of Wise County wanted to get together and raise some money. Justin threw the cook-off together in 2 months, had 57 teams from 4 states. It was rainy and cold all day Saturday.
Nasty.
It was nasty weather, and we partnered up with Cody, and we stuck a 10 by 10 foot canopy in between two trailers and tied them to the wheels.
Oh, wow.
So we didn't have to worry about our drums slowing down or anything. And
Right.
if you've never cooked a rib cook-off association, it's very laid back. It's extremely you hang out with all the other cooks a lot more than you do in a 3-meat or a 4-meat cook.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't hurt when you hit a first place. And then Erica had a 12th. She was 1 point. She was like, I think 129.7, and 11th and 10th was 129.8.
Yeah.
So she was
Wow.
like 1/10 of a point for being in the top 10.
Wow. Did y'all run the same recipe?
Nope.
No,
Y'all run something different. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
she went a little bit more spicy,
I did.
Okay.
and I went a little bit more savory.
Okay. All right. That's
The only
great.
thing we have in common is we use wildcatter and everything.
There you go. I've heard that's some good stuff.
Great.
Hey, you
That
got to
is-
watch them North Texas folks. They like a bottle of comp. They
Yeah.
pour it in.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
pour it in there. Oh, goodness
You like our
gracious.
garlic.
Yeah, shout out James. We were the only ones rocking shorts. Yeah, that sounds about right for Travis. That's for sure. Yeah, it was a pretty bad weather that came through, and I'm glad y'all got through it and didn't have any hail damage or nothing stupid like what happened in Kaufman and down at the racetrack in Ennis. So, but yeah, so tell us a little bit about the Rib Cook-Off Association because I've never got a chance to cook one. Tell us your likes, obviously, if there's any dislikes, because I'm sure Dirk and Jody's probably on here. I mean, you always want to know what can we do to improve better, what's little things, but let us hear it because I haven't got a chance to cook one. I'd like to know more about it.
I think that as promoters, also we've cooked it, and as promoters, Jody and Dirk make it so easy.
Oh yeah,
I
they're
mean,
good people.
honestly,
Yeah.
you even as promoters, we still got to enjoy everybody and be around. And she only came and got us if she had a question. And they're so polite and nice, and I mean overly nice. You feel like, man, and so welcomed, and so and for every cook that walks in, Jody's making sure they feel welcomed, and it goes super smooth because they're so invested in all of it. But yeah, they do all the work and let you have the good time.
Yeah, they take all the monies, they take all the registrations,
Mm-hmm.
so you don't have to be a part of that as a promoter.
Right.
They do all the payouts. They put it in envelopes for you. They get it all ready. They hand you the score sheet and you announce it. I mean, it's really easy. As far as cooking it, it's a mixture, right? So they get to pick the rib up. So it's not like they use a plastic knife and fork,
Okay.
but they pick the rib up and they judge the appearance of the rib they have in front of them, not the box.
Okay.
So
That's different.
Yeah, so it's a little change. It's almost like KCBS where they put it on the sheet and then they score on the appearance. So it's not like you can stack a whole bunch of ribs and you try to make your rib box look full, right? Because if you start stacking the ribs on there, it takes away the sauce.
Okay.
So you try to put, you have to turn in 6 ribs, and they judge it on taste, tenderness, and appearance.
Okay. But the appearance is after it comes out of the box and it's sitting on the paper in front of them.
It's the individual rib that they pull out and put in front of them. That's what they scored.
Okay.
Only 6 ribs.
You can turn in 10. I turned in 10 at the World Championships in Shawnee in January
Okay.
We have 7.
because I had
Or
6.
6.
Yeah,
Yes.
I had
Six.
I had 10. I had 3 racks of ribs, and every rack I cooked, they were hammers, and they tasted the same. They were great texture, and I wanted a heavy box, and I turned it in. Well, I got 8th place, and my appearance was the thing that got dinged. It was 42 on appearance. The taste and texture were spot on, and 2
Right.
points separates, from
Yeah.
8th to 1st. So
So
then I started talking to the other cooks, and they were like, well, if you put those ribs on, stack them on top of each other, and they pull that rib out and the sauce is wiped away. So I really try to turn in just 6 ribs to where they were individual by themselves and not stacked on top of each
The way
other.
they tie them on the bottom, on the back, or something like that.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that makes sense. So you're saying if they're judging the rib that's in front of you, they pull that out and they stay on their plate. However, that contraption works in the front, right? Then if the rib is on top, then it gets off and gets splotchy. So
Yeah.
it's good advice.
So did you put 5 bones across the back and set one presentation bone up front?
Yes, just
Yeah.
like KCBS.
Yeah, that looks good. Wow, so that's interesting, Sarah, and that's the little things like that we don't know. That's kind of good to know. So, so they can pick it up, they can just bite it, and they give you a score: taste, tenderness, and appearance.
Yeah.
Is it
And
one
then-
score, or is it a score for each? I guess it's a score for each one of them. Then, correct?
Yeah, there's a score for each one. I'm not
Okay.
sure what the perfect score is. I know Arica had a 129.7 and had a 137.1, and I think second place was 134.
Okay.
So, I mean, it was a 3-point difference between second and first.
Wow.
Well, maybe those guys will jump on here. They'll see us on, and they'll be able to,
Yeah.
they'll be able to climb in there and
Yeah.
give us some insight on the story.
Okay.
Another
So
thing go ahead.
go ahead.
I was going to say another thing I like about it is that although, we love to go to cook-offs every weekend, we usually plan the weekend for a cook-off,
Right.
but it opens up more availability to cook because it's only one meet. So you can literally show up on Saturday morning if you want
Yeah.
and leave after awards, and it's not the weekend thing. Although we like the weekend thing.
Right.
But just allowing more availability for other cooks to come out and not have to take their
There's
weekend.
Dirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that is
21.5.
Yeah,
Perfect.
and that is true. Like our cooks meetings at 9 a.m. on Saturday morning.
Okay.
So when I went to bed, there were like 27 cooks, and when I woke up in the morning, there was 57 teams
Yeah.
there.
Wow.
I mean, it's
Dang.
almost, and they've taken over a lot of the SEA.
Yeah.
So a lot of the SEA cooks, I mean, a lot of the guys that are cooking it are SEA cooks.
Right.
They're
right.
wanting to do competitive barbecue.
Yeah.
And the best part about it is they're learning how to cook ribs. Well, and some sanctioning bodies in Texas, you only cook 3 meats, right?
Right.
And then a lot of them are KCBS cooks that there's no competitions in Oklahoma.
Right.
So, and you look at RCOA, they're the fastest growing competitive barbecue organization in the United States, not in
Wow.
Texas, but in
Right.
the United States. And I don't know if you saw, but they partnered up with Memphis in May.
Yeah, I saw
So
that.
yeah, so if you get first place in an event that has over 30 teams, you're guaranteed a spot in the 2026 Memphis in May.
So you going to Memphis in May? That's what Steven wants
Yes.
to know.
Yeah,
Absolutely,
we're going.
we're
Yeah,
going.
we already have
There you
we
go.
had a team that night. I don't know, some of them might not remember because they committed, but
Yeah.
it's me, Arica Hatcher,
Bittner.
Bittner, Justin West, and Cody Allenbar.
Oh my gosh, that ought to be a party. That's going to be a.
Good, I'll
That's
see you
gonna
all
be
there
tough.
then.
Maybe that was a mistake.
And
Yeah.
I was questioning whether I was going to let Justin come because I think he's the only one that can drink as much beer as I can. So
Yeah.
that was real hard for me to say,
Yeah.
man, it might be one beer left, and he's a little bit bigger than me. So,
Yeah.
but I went ahead and invited him anyways.
That's funny. Wildcatter for the win. Dang. Oh, goodness gracious. Let's see. Rib Cook-Off session had a lot of fun because it did last year, the world champion. This year, always a good time. That's awesome.
It is. a good time.
I saw Dirk. Okay, 141.5 is the perfect score. So that's pretty cool. So what time? I mean, y'all can get there on Friday. Is there a meat inspection or anything?
No, you bring your own ribs.
So
Yeah,
can
you
you
know.
can you inject on Friday night if you get there on a Friday night, or is it?
Yeah,
gotta be
you
the
can.
morning?
Yeah,
It's just like a
it's like a regular
regular
cook-off. Yeah, it's a
Okay.
regular cook. It's a
Like
regular
a-
call.
Okay, the regular cook-off. Okay,
You're just doing one meat.
just doing the one meat. So it's just like a regular cook-off, just one meat, and that's it. What time is the turn-in on ribs?
So it depends. Like at our cook-off so we're doing another one this year. It's the weekend before July 4th. And last year we had 28 teams, and I was like, I wanted to party on Friday night. So our turn-ins weren't until like 3 and 4.
Okay.
So we had teams rolling in at 10 a.m.
Yeah.
And the kids meeting wasn't until 11.
Right.
And then that way, like Erica said, we we have kids at the house, and sometimes, it's like, man, we got to drive back on Saturday, or, because most barbecue sanctioning bodies, you have to be there at a certain time on Friday night, or
Right.
give it the promoter. And then if you pull in at 7 in the morning, everybody thinks you're, cooking already. So I don't want to do that. But on the Rib Association, same thing at my land. We had 14 teams when I went to bed at 2 a.m. that night or that morning. And I woke up and people were banging on my door asking where to park.
Oh, wow.
And I might have been a little bit rude, because they were, 7 in the morning. I'm like, well, there's 7.5 acres. Like, it's not.
Yeah, go find a place.
Yeah, just find a spot, man.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
You'll hear a lot of this on Friday night. Hey, man, let's stay up a little bit longer. It's just one meat. Come on.
Yeah, it's one meat.
Yeah. That is funny. Let's see. We had doubles and triples. So yeah.
Oh, that's true. Yes.
Yeah. So a double, like if it's anything like SEA, they'll have a turn-in time at 11. They'll have another turn-in time like at 1 or 2 or something. So
yeah, we did the same thing with mine. We had anything bacon, anything chicken, right? Yes. And then we had a spare rib turn-in and a baby back.
Okay.
Because you get points for each rib, so you can pick whatever rib you want. Like the promoter gets to pick whatever rib, and we did St. Louis style and baby backs.
Okay, so it was 2 cook-offs. Is that the way that was? 2 separate?
So you get points for each one of them. Now we awarded an overall grand champion for everything, and we'll do the same. We'll do the same this year as well.
Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, it's one meat and so much fun. World was baby backs in 1 and one and spares at 2. Okay, that's pretty cool. So it was a spare rib. It couldn't be a St. Louis rib. It had to be the full spare.
Oh no, it can be a St. Louis. It can be a St. Louis.
Okay, so it's either St. Louis cut or a baby back. Okay.
Right.
That's interesting. Wow. That sounds like a lot of fun. I mean, the closest one we had one they did over here in Longview, Texas at one of the Outlaw events last year. They had it on a Friday night. I think I was at the Jack because I think it was the weekend of the Jack. I wasn't able to go. So let's see what they got here. I thought you had to cook both, so it's one or the other. So can you do both?
Well, no. It depends on what the promoter says, right? That's the reason I love what Dirk and Jody are doing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's up to the promoter to make the call.
Okay.
So I mean, I guess you can turn in both. I don't know why you would do that in Texas because I don't see a baby back winning at all.
Right.
But I mean, like I said,
you'd be surprised how many the baby back and spares at the same time have done very good.
Yeah. But like I see, like in Oklahoma, we did the spare ribs at 3 and the baby backs at 4. So you had we told you exactly what you had to cook.
Okay. So it's 2 separate cook-offs, 2 different type ribs, baby back
and then get points off both of those. So if they get a first place, I think it's 11 points, right? And then if they get another first place in the 4 o'clock turn in, they'll earn 22 points that day.
Okay.
So it's a way to double up. It's like SCA. It's the same way that SCA.
It's the same thing. So you can cook 2 cook-offs at the same time. Okay.
Yes. And I think last year they had a triple header to end the year. There was like 3 people that could have won.
Dirk's listening. He knows what I'm talking about.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't let them get it in mixed box.
No mixed box. So either it's going to be all baby backs, it's going to be all St. Louis. It's just all going to be the same. Okay. Wow, that's interesting right there. That sounds like a lot of fun. It really does. So, I mean, it's just a 1 meat cook-off go in. Okay, let's talk about payouts. So, I don't know if it's dependent on how many teams, but just what did a first place rib pay?
So it was $4,000 guaranteed for 1 meat, which there's a lot of cook-offs with 3 meats that aren't guaranteed, right?
Wow.
And then we had a hog pot that everybody put in. The hog pot was $900 and something.
Right.
So we hit first place ribs. The first place ribs paid $800, which is awesome, right?
Wow.
It cost, I think, $14, $12, and $14. So like less than $60 of meat.
Yeah.
To hit, to win $800. And then Bud Brown, he hit the hog pot at the Worlds and won $1,600, and hit hog pot this weekend and won $900.
So what's the hog pot?
It's like the Wild Child or Kiss Your Sister. So it's 1 out of the money.
1 out of the money. Okay. Dang, that's awesome.
Hey, and then I got 12, so I was in bed the whole night.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Jeez.
Because if I would have got would have got the hog pot and he got first, we would have went home with almost $2,000.
Yeah,
Oh my God. So what's the entry fee?
$125.
$125. Wow, and a guaranteed 4,000. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And how many spots did they pay down?
To 10.
They paid 10 spots. Wow,
Yeah.
that's pretty dang good.
And that's
man.
the promoter.
It is.
That's the promoter's. I think last year, did we pay 15? I can't remember, but I think like 15th we gave $25, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
just something.
that's at least
you know.
gas money or something.
Yeah. Wow, that buys 2 racks of ribs almost.
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah.
you know,
Definitely.
it adds up. So, wow.
Pallets, throw a drum in the truck,
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
so
full injection, and be done with it.
yeah.
Well,
You'll make my
some
rounds.
cooks- Yeah, there's some cooks that literally they all ride together. There's like 3 or 4 in a truck, and they bring a trailer, and they all have their own drum,
Yeah, yeah.
and then they just go out there and cook.
Okay.
Makes it
Wow.
easier.
Yeah. All right, Sherry, kiss your sister. Oh, Mr. Coffee, you're going to have to explain
Not
that to
really.
me. Okay, so Sherry, the way that a kiss your sister works is, let's just say they're only going to pay the top 10. Then whoever finished 1 out of the money is going to win the kiss your sister, or in this case, the hog pot. So they paid 10 spots. So whoever finished 11th won the hog pot. Or if you're at an outlaw competition, if say they're only going to pay the top 8 teams if you bought into the kiss your sister. And they'll draw 1 meat. It's not for all of them. So they'll reach in there. They'll pull the bung out. Okay, it's going to be chicken. So 1 out of the money on chicken is going to win the kiss your sister. So it's 1 out of the money on wherever they're paying, and it's only on 1 meat. It's not on all the meats. So it is a lot of fun. I don't ever buy. Laura always gets mad at me. I don't ever buy them stupid things. I'm betting against myself. Why would I want to do that? So
Because of money, that's why. It's
yeah. It's a lot of new cooks and pros.
Barbecue cooks are the biggest gamblers in the world.
Oh yeah,
we
they
gamble
are.
every weekend on the smallest
Yeah.
things, right?
That's what I did last year. Threw 1 drum and a table in the bed of the truck and rocked
Yep.
it. There you go. Wow.
Yep.
It's one way to do it. That's what makes it nice. You know, you can travel pretty light. Ice chest, a pop-up tent, a drum, and you're ready to go.
You're gonna travel light, or you can come Saturday morning, you can come Friday night, and then during the cook, you get to visit with all your barbecue family a lot
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
So that's when they say it's laid back. That's why you're not,
Yeah, it's not
nursing 3 meats.
Yeah, you're not rushed. You're not having to get
Yeah.
up in the morning and
Yeah.
manage a fire for this, putting
That
brisket
makes
on
sense.
at
Yeah.
5 or 6 o'clock in the morning. And then by the time you
Yep.
do that, then you got ribs going on. Then you got chicken prep. It's just hard to get away. I've got a couple
It
little
is.
times that I'm going to run and go make a run and go say hi to everybody real quick.
Right.
And I got about 2 times that I can do that. But usually, man, by the time ribs are on, from that point, it kind of starts
Yeah.
getting busy.
Well, that's like the American rule. You have so many teams there from all over the country, but you don't have time to sit and visit with them.
Oh, I
Like
know.
literally, it's like for me, I don't cook a lot of KCBS, and the judges let me know that I don't cook a lot of KCBS. And but when I cook it, it's like I went there once, and man, the first day was kind of cool. You got to see everybody, but once the comp started,
Yeah.
man, I only saw the people that would walk by because
Yeah.
we were cooking for that day, and then that night you're starting to prep, so it's like it's insane. But with the like I cooked Glen Heights 2 weeks before the week before the rodeo, because like what Bill said about the hammer versus the nail at the Houston rodeo, they did not like any of our food. We had I think we're the only team in Houston history to have the same meat, top 10 in the same meat for 3 years. And so those ribs that finished first, Justin's ribs that finished first, 6th, and 8th finished 159th this year.
Wow.
And I finished 99th in brisket, and Cody Allenbar is a heck of a chicken cook.
Right.
And he finished 179th in chicken.
Wow.
So
That's crazy.
The funny thing is the guys in the tent were like, well, see, now you know how we feel. And I go, no, because next week I'm going to go cook again.
That's right.
Yeah.
Like this
Redeem ourselves.
feeling's not going to be with me all year.
Yeah, it's going to
Like,
go away.
It'll be with me till the next cook.
We got to get that monkey off our back. So
That's
Yeah.
right.
you
That's
ain't
right.
kidding. Like, I get out again. Let's prove that was a fluke. Yeah, I think I finished 70th overall. I think my highest score, I had a 49th brisket, and I forgot. I had 130th chicken and 80 something in ribs. So
Yeah, we were 160th overall.
wow.
The previous 3 years we were 4th overall, 6th overall, 30th overall, and this year we were 160th.
Wow. Yeah. You just never know. I mean, 250 teams. And I think they have, if they got 5 judges on each, I think there was 5 judges on each table. Man, do the
Yeah.
math. That's a lot of dang, 50 going. That's 25. That's 25 tables, right? 25, 50 tables.
Yeah, I
That's
think they
50,
said there's 100 and
50.
something judges per meet.
Yeah. So my ambassador told me there was 5 judges on each box. That's or 5 judges on each table. So you had to have 50 judges for 250 teams, right? So, or 50 tables for 250 teams. So imagine that 50 tables, and you've got to find probably the top 1, 2, 3, probably the top 3 tables, maybe 4 if you're lucky to get a top 10. So all the rest of them, I mean, you're going to be somewhere from 10th down. So because they're just not going to score the same. So. Oh man, I need
Well,
another
it's kind of like
beer.
what you said. It's kind of like what you said earlier. You just got to turn in good food.
You do, you got to
And
turn in good food, and you have to have a lot of luck.
and
That's
it,
what it.
if you get the texture right, and then I love what y'all say about finishing dust, right? Like, I think there's a big difference between finishing right here with the finishing dust that
Right.
close than up here.
Yeah,
And it's
Yeah.
like Erica's the one that was like,
I do this.
yeah, she'll raise
Yeah,
my
get
arm
it up.
Like, babe,
Yeah.
you know what happens because you're just
He'll
pounding it
be
on
in a hurry
there.
and
Yeah, and I'll
start
just try to do that. She lifts my arm up. She's like,
Yeah.
no, babe, that's not going to work.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I tell you what, every week we're gonna start doing. If y'all real quick, I know some of y'all are watching on our YouTube channel. Hey, if you're watching on our YouTube channel, just give us a thumbs up or something, because I'm wondering how many are on YouTube.
Yeah.
But we're really making a big push to grow our YouTube channel, and we're taking a lot of our videos or a lot of our podcasts, and we're breaking them down into little segments and making shorts and stuff. So if you're with us tonight, if you would go and hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel on Barbecue Champs, just go to Google, type in Barbecue Champs Academy YouTube, and you'll find our page. If you haven't, go like and subscribe to our page, because we're dropping a lot of content. And one of the things that we've done, man, we had we had Chris Hatcher on here. Me and Lee and Aaron, we was talking to Chris Hatcher, and we was talking about that. We was talking about finishing dust. And we got in a really good conversation. It was probably about a 7 or 8 minute little segment there. So we clipped that out and made a little 7 or 8 minute video and put on the YouTube channel. And there we go. Russell's on there. Appreciate it, Russell. Man, they're getting a lot of likes, a lot of follows, a couple comments here and there, and we're just now starting to roll that stuff out. So one of the things that we're going to try to start doing is every week is we're going to come in and we're going to have like a pro tip category, and we're going to use this little section right here. So let's start this off, and let's say, okay, I'm going to ask the question, and then we'll just kind of roll into it. So if you had a pro tip that would help not only the competition cook, but a backyard cook that is going to cook ribs, is there, and you don't have to give the farm away, and we're not expecting that, but if there's a few little techniques or a few little things that you think that has helped your rib cooking, that's what we'd like to know. What is the couple things that you've seen? And then as we do, we can all kind of jump in and kind of talk about certain things that we've done. Maybe it's a technique, maybe it's a finishing dust, maybe it's the way you sauce them, maybe it's the little things like that. So what do you have for something like that, James and Arica?
I would say first thing for me, I always want to make sure that I have a good thermopin ready for me.
Yeah.
I screwed up some good ribs with with a bad pin. With a bad
reading the temperature.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I love thermopin. It's quick, and make sure you're getting accurate temperatures quickly.
Yeah, that is a good saying, because I know I don't know, somebody had one they handed me. I was at a competition. They just want me to check something. They handed me a temp pin. And I was like, where'd you get this thing at, man? Like Walmart, and you stick it in there, and you're sitting there waiting, and it
burning
took
your ribs.
Yeah, and it took 10 seconds for this thing to get up to temperature.
Yeah. And in a drum, you don't want to leave that door open too long.
That's right. So I was like, yeah, man, let's get away from that. Go buy you a thermopin. Man, they're like $50. They're great. They read in 2 seconds, and it's worth it. They got a backlight on them and everything. So yeah, I think that's one thing. What else you got? I mean, what that's one from Arica. What do you got, James?
Well, I think part of it too is the rib itself, right? So I look for a rib that's really thick, right?
Okay.
So I mean, and I think that I'm not worried about straight bones. I remember I would look for like 3 weeks to find ribs with straight bones.
Right.
And, literally there's ways that you can cut them to where it looks like they're squared. Right.
Right.
So I think that if even in the backyard, they're just better if they're juicier. Right. I
Yeah,
mean, you
yeah.
you can make a mistake with a thick rib that you can't make with a thin rib.
That's right.
And
That's right.
I think that's important. And then there was a guy named I don't want to say his name. He's up in my top right hand corner for the competition cook. Is when it gets sunny outside and it gets a little bit hot, and you see people drinking cold beer and girls wearing shorter shorts, then you add sodium content to the injection and
Right.
on the finishing dust. So
Right.
that's Eric and I have been pretty hot in ribs over the last 4 comps. We didn't cook ribs in Houston, but
Right.
went to Glen Heights, had a second chicken first rib and a second brisket and GC'd it.
Mhm.
And our ribs are on point, and I always get scared because I know it's all the same weather, right? It's cloudy, kind of chilly. Like, is that same recipe that we have right now going to hit? And I think
Right.
that understanding that the hotter it gets, people, their body just naturally craves sodium.
Right. Right.
And that's some of the best advice that we've ever had at a cook-off. And I can't remember where it was at, but it was hotter than heck. And Aaron came over and sat down and said, "Hey, what are y'all having problems with?" And we were like, "Hey, we can't really get calls right now." And he just said, when you think it's too salty, taste it and add more salt.
Yeah. Yeah. Salt is something your body craves. And Aaron, you can expound on that. Let's see if your internet connection's good. Sometimes it's been cutting out, Aaron.
Well, it's been cut on a little bit of everybody, really.
Yeah.
So first thing you want to do is take the class.
Yeah.
I mean, you want to go take the class, man.
Yeah,
I mean,
so,
jump on barbecuejamsacademy.com/Aaron Legend.
take the class. Yeah.
Take the class.
Yeah. So Chris brings up
honestly,
something real good.
You want to be consistent.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
So here's one thing.
No, you already.
When you take a class, pay attention to every detail. I experienced that this past weekend, and it bit me. So there's a reason, and I know that we've got a lot of people on YouTube watching stuff, and they've got everything, they know how to do everything, but there's a lot of things that a pro competition cook knows that you may not. I mean, they do help you. I know, and that's one thing we see that a lot, right? Because we'll see people come in, I cook really good, and they come into a competition, and next thing you know, they're disappointed. They didn't finish very well, and man, I cook really good food, and I was like, well, I know you cook good food, but now you're cooking against some really good guys that really, really know how to cook. Like this guy right here, Mr. Rodeo. I'm Bill, Mr. Rodeo Purvis. You don't need a class. This guy just finished 225 teams at Austin Rodeo, a third place chicken, a second place rib, and a third place brisket. If you think you're in the YouTube world and you know your stuff and you can roll out there and do that against 225 teams, I would suggest you need to get out and start cooking because you're going to make a lot of money. So, but yeah, I mean, taking a class, getting details, we're trying to give you a little pro tip here that would maybe kind of help you. So talk a little bit, Aaron, about the salt, like how you feel like that kind of helps.
Well, so as I was going to say earlier, and James hit on it too, it's sometimes the weather outside. Right. There's a lot of factors involved. You can't cook the same way here as you can in Alamosa, Colorado at 10,000 feet because it's just a little different,
Right.
The weather might not be the same. So know your area, know your weather. And sometimes it might help when you have somebody else beside you that can taste it. A lot of people like myself are on a one-man team, so sometimes I will make a mistake because of the way I tasted it, but I've been sitting there all day in the smoke. I've been sitting there, nibbling on this or eating on that. So I might have my taste buds affected, but sometimes we can talk ourselves out of into a wrong decision. And sometimes it's nice to have a good kind of when you have a teammate or somebody around you that can just taste it, that might have a good set of taste buds. So let somebody taste it or have yourself taste it, but don't talk yourself out. Go with your gut. And if you think that no, it shouldn't be, just leave it alone because sometimes you'll try to overcomplicate it. And you'll actually mess it up worse than it was when you pull it out of the foil or the pan or whatever however you're cooking your ribs. And so and just pay attention to what the judges are doing and kind of see maybe if you get a chance, run up there and have somebody go up there and take a look at what kind of judges you have in the room that are sitting down 10 minutes before the window. Just if somebody's free, little things like that. Just try to find that deal, but mostly just stick to your routine.
Mm-hmm.
That's all you can really do. Just stick to your routine. Find the same size ribs if you can. Don't find a 5.4 and a 4.1. It doesn't work that way. They don't cook the same.
Right.
So you're always gonna have a tighter rib. But yeah, try to watch your same dimensions on your rib, your same weights if possible, same marbling. Not big fat. Not one way off than the other. But
right.
And at the end of the day, don't overcomplicate it.
That's right.
It's just a good barbecue.
That's it.
But you will talk yourself into a wrong decision really quick.
Yeah.
So true.
And I will say this, as far as classes, like Eric and I took Aaron and Bill Purvis's class, right? And so people come up all the time and say, so are you using the exact recipes from the class? Well, I'm going to tell them yes, because I want them to buy the class.
Right.
But if you're buying these classes just for the recipes, you're buying them for the entire wrong reason.
That's right.
Like, I learned techniques from Aaron and Bill's class that I'm sitting there watching them on the class going, and Eric and I are looking going, God, babe, why didn't we think of that?
Right.
And then, like, literally, we do practice cooks. And that's another thing. If, backyard, it's funny because I was sitting by somebody that had never cooked before in Glen Heights. They brought their own turn-in boxes. They thought you had to make plates. They go, how many plates do you make? And I'm like, plates, what are you talking about?
Not joking.
And he was like, no, dude, I heard like we got to make 7 plates. And I go, show me what you're talking about. And they came out with their half chicken. They cooked like 7 half chickens.
Oh, God.
They thought they had to turn in 7 different half chickens. So I helped them, but they were super nice. They tasted our food. They understood like what the difference was between backyard. And I think that's the big thing. If you've never cooked a comp, go out, and these guys were super friendly. They came over and talked to us. Me and Cody, we'd taste their stuff. We'd give them honest feedback. But to me, if you're going to invest in competition barbecue, because it's not cheap.
Right.
And I'm telling you right now, it's, used to you could get away with a choice brisket and still get a top 10 call.
Right.
And it's difficult, right? Everybody's buying the primes or, Midland Meat,
Right.
Snake River Farms. They're buying those high-end briskets. It's really expensive. For the price of a class, that's the price of a comp.
That's it.
And
That's it.
if you go and you take that class and you look at the techniques, now look, if your flavor's way off, like try their recipe, but try to make it your own, because they've sold so many classes. A lot of people are going to have those same recipes.
Right.
And again, Eric and I have been doing this I've been doing it a long time. I didn't get good until Erica came on board. Let's be honest.
Right.
But in 2018, we started hitting, and we hit until like the end of 2022. And then it went stale.
Right.
And we started chasing, like what Aaron said, you can talk yourself into some bad barbecue.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think Darren Worth is the guy that said, I pull in the parking lot and I wait for everybody to out season me.
Yeah.
Right. Cause you think, I'll add a little bit of this or add a little bit of that. And, taking that class and seeing like the techniques they use. To me, it's almost funny that some people feel like it's a badge of honor to say I never took a class, because I was one of those guys.
Yeah.
And Erica, when we were losing money and we weren't getting any money back, she was like, why don't we take a class? And I was like, no, we're not doing that, right?
I was like, it's continuing education.
Yeah, that's what she think.
That's it.
And so we broke down, and I think we bought Bill's class first, and then Aaron's class came out, and we bought Aaron's. And just look, I'm not on here to advertise it. I'm on here because as a result,
Yeah.
Right.
we started throwing darts again this year. We're starting to get back in rhythm, right?
Right. Right.
And the thing about barbecue is you might do really well one week, and then the next week, if I went to Kaufman, Decatur, or Denton, those are my. But I won first place ribs in Decatur this weekend. But those were my 3 trouble spots.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's invest in yourself, because this is an expensive hobby.
That's right. Gabe says it best. Gabe said when we were doing okay before the class. Since taking Aaron's class, we have had to purchase new boots due to all the walking. Granted, we have to refine due to the area, but the class is absolutely worth it. that just it just sometimes it's just the little things. And Bill Purvis said it best. James hit it on the nail on the head. It's all techniques. It's the same thing Gordon says. It's the techniques. There's a lot of things that's in techniques that really, really, really make a difference. Justin Thomas, I'll second that. He was the last guy in McKinney last year and the first one to come say what's up this year. Yeah, I mean that's part.
One
of
thing
it.
you won't find is you won't find a lot of guys in the top 10 who are out traveling the whole grounds, talking to everybody, shaking over here at this camp, going over here at that camp. Most of the guys who are hitting it very consistently are the ones that stay by their camp, by their trailer. They're not walking away. They're not going anywhere.
That's right.
They're staying right there by their food, and they're keeping an eye on their temperatures, because you can walk away and your pit goes out. If you have an offset, maybe the fire, died down and it dropped 100 degrees on you, or the drum took off on you and got a little too hot. I know that happened this weekend to some cooks.
Yeah.
So there's in the pellet grill, the power might have went out. Something can always happen.
Yep.
And it's 10 or 15 minutes stepping away. It might take you 30, 40 minutes to get back on track.
That's right.
So I learned that from JD Henley about 2015 or 16. I think it was 16 when I first started cooking competitively. He said, you got to stay near your stuff. Don't be the guy walking around doing all that stuff. Let those guys do that, because they're just wasting their money.
That's right.
You don't find very many guys that are very consistent to be able to walk around and hang out with everybody and still cook food at the same time.
Yeah, you have all Friday night to do that and Saturday at awards.
That's right. That's right.
Erica,
and James has me to be like, hello.
No, Erica will come grab me.
Yeah.
She's like, we can make, because we've like one year we were like, we're tired of going to the same cook-offs, right? We want to do something different.
Right.
And she'd be like, let's go meet new friends. And then she'd always tell me, we can meet these new friends after we turn in brisket. Right? That was her whole thing. Like, let's focus on the meats. Let's focus on what we're doing.
That's right.
If you ever see us separated at a comp, you'll see me standing somewhere going like this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah. It's time to go. That's right.
It's time to go, sir.
Well, I tell you what, guys, that was some great tips. It's the little things like that sometimes can make you a better cook. I think that's really, really important. And I really appreciate the little tip on all of that stuff. So thumbs up. And Prairie Fresh ribs. I really, somebody had posted earlier, man, I think it was Stephen Peacock said Prairie Fresh. I just think it's a really good rib. I mean, Bill Purvis, I know he's cooking HEB Naturals or something. He's getting at HEB, man. He's killing it, and those are good ribs too. There's no telling who makes them. It's probably a Smithfield or something. That's a good rib, but man, I don't know. I just have a lot of good, consistent cooks with Prairie Fresh. James, I'm a little disappointed that you haven't put Mike in timeout yet. Gordon, he doesn't have control of the show. So,
hey, Mike,
we did that in the bed.
Mike, I saw somebody on here. I would like to tell a little funny barbecue story if I can have a couple of seconds.
Go right ahead.
So Mark Pugh, when he was first getting into cooking, Mark would send messages to you, right? You didn't know who he was. He's like, hey, and it was like in Fort Worth, and I hit a first place brisket.
Right.
And yeah, you might want to grab one, Mark. And so Mark messaged me, and I didn't even know who he was. He goes, hey, tell me what temperature you cooked your brisket at and when you pulled it off, wanted all this information. So he saw Justin West have toothpicks in his chicken. So he messaged Justin and said, can you tell me what the toothpicks are for your chicken? And Justin said, yeah, sure, not a problem. It's to add the wood flavor to the chicken. So the next cook-off, Mark Pugh put all these toothpicks in the chicken like a Hellraiser. He would get wood flavor in his chicken.
I wish somebody would have taken a picture of that. Wouldn't that have been a great picture to have?
Yeah, man.
The Frankenstein chicken.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I don't use toothpicks no more, because the day I spun one and pulled it out and half of it stayed in the chicken breast and I couldn't find it. It was the last day that I ever picked up another toothpick for my chicken.
Yeah, mine are straight pins. I got T pins. They're straight, so they work good.
But it was funny that Mark thought that was
He's getting his wood flavor in.
Getting the wood
my
flavor
first.
in.
And I'll say this: I think cooks are a lot different now. Used to, I remember I asked somebody a long time ago. I was like, "Man, congratulations on grand champion. Can you? I'm a new cook. Blah blah blah." And he goes, "Yeah, I've seen you out here." And I was like, "Any advice?" And he was like, "Yeah, add a quarter cup of kerosene, throw it in your firebox just as you put your meat on."
Oh God!
And I literally almost did that at the next time.
Oh gosh! That sounds like Kelly Curtis. So, lighter
You
fluid, baby.
got to pour a little blue bottle in there.
Man, he had the blue bottle. You got to
Yeah.
get the HEB blue bottle, baby, and get her going. So, oh my gosh, another pro tip: keep toothpicks. That's it. So,
Yeah.
man,
Yeah.
you'll never know what you're going to learn on this thing. I'm telling you, there's always something in these podcasts, just like our videos of Barbecue Champs. Go back and watch because I'm sure there's going to be a tidbit somewhere that you missed.
I'm a whisk. I'm an HEB 99-cent whisk kind of guy. So
There you go. Oh yeah. I remember the whisk deal. So
I'm cheap. I'm gonna lose them. I'm
That's
not buying.
right.
I'm gonna pay them.
That's right. That's right. I remember that. So he's got a technique. You have to take the class, and he'll show you how he uses the whisk to pin your chicken. I just don't remember that.
People just can't believe it. It's that easy.
Kerosene or cross tie? Well, the railroad cross ties, and I'll tell you what, the good thing
Oh
with
my
them
God, I
is
heard that too.
if you were to take the cross ties and if you were to cut them in about 6-inch blocks and then split it in half, those things are great because they really do give you that deep, rich color that you're looking for on that brisket. If you're looking at cooking the small towns and stuff like that, and you're trying to get that bark look, man, that cross tie. Please understand.
Do not
guys.
listen to that. Do
Please.
not-
This is all sarcasm, guys.
Please understand, guys. We're just joking. That's a joke. So we'll have people on YouTube going, "Yeah, you're not supposed to put a cross tie." We're joking, guys. That's just a joke. So anyway, well, it looks like y'all had a great time, and that's all that counts, And it seems like the rib cook-off, Dirk and Jody, super incredibly good people.
I'm going to do one day.
And man, I
Gotta
want to
Gotta
do
do
one
it.
one day. That's for sure.
Just-
Hopefully we
yeah.
have more in East Texas where I could get to one day because it would be cool. I don't know what I'm doing.
You guys will love it.
Yeah, it sounds like a
guys
lot
will
of
love
fun. No doubt, it sounds like.
Well,
it would be a lot
I'm
of
just to
fun.
let y'all know, I'm having one on June 28th in Ryan, Oklahoma.
I ain't driving to Oklahoma. That's too far.
Come
from
on,
Louisiana.
man.
From Louisiana, it's like 6 hours.
No, it's close. It's by Fort Worth. It's an hour and 20 minutes from our house.
Look at Aaron.
No, it ain't. I think he's fibbing.
No, it's
No, it literally is.
literally
Is it?
we
Okay.
don't we don't even have to get on a major highway. It's 287 all the way up to 81 through Bowie.
Okay.
Oh my
Well,
God.
that's
6 hours.
6 hours. That's a long way. That's a long ways just to go cook a rib. So, man, that's a long ways to go cook a rib. It'd have to be a 3-meat. It'd have to be a 3-meat for me.
But it's a
so.
good time. It'd be worth it.
Hey,
Yeah.
it's a triple header. It's
Oh, okay. Well,
it's anything but chicken. We did 100% payback or anything with bacon. That's it. No dessert,
Okay.
just because I'm kicking Bobby Oliver because he made a candied bacon cheesecake last year.
Yeah.
So I'm doing no dessert. Just
That's
I'm
good.
calling that the Bobby Oliver rule because it was not fair.
Yeah. That's
So,
not
But
good.
what is the average entry fee for a rib cook-off?
$125.
125. Yeah.
For one meat?
Yep,
One meat.
What are this is you have sides, you said, right? So
Yes, usually $50. But I mean, my cook-off, we do 100% payout on everything. So I mean, last year I want to say we paid out. I can't even remember, but I know it was a good payout. I think first got 900, and then literally I think we paid top 15,
Okay.
like
that's
25 for 11 through 15, and then God, I want to say we paid out 3,700 or 3,800 bucks.
out of curiosity, why would you pay 15 to 11 and just give them $25?
Well, just because it was a way of saying thank you for coming out and supporting the cook. And just
gift
the
card
American-
do that. I mean,
Well, and then we
people
had
pay for
free.
it, thank you for coming. But $25 for a trophy, man. I mean, that just kind of, you got to think, guys. You know how it is. You know, you just spent $700 to get here, and you got 10th place. You get $25.
Yeah,
So for
well,
some
if they
people,
spent,
that's like
if
kicking
they
in a
spent,
rib.
yeah, if they spent $700 to go to a rib cook-off, then they're getting some ribs that I never heard of, and
And
they're,
I'm
I
just
think
saying, no,
I think
I'm
they're
just
injecting
saying.
them with illegal substance. You
Yeah,
know,
well,
like-
I mean, you can probably go to a Rib Cook-Off Association cook if you don't have to travel too far. I mean, you got 2 racks of ribs. You got $25 for ribs, 125. You brought $150 in meat and entry fee. Let's say you got $75 in gas or $200.
yeah.
I mean, it's not like a comp where we're spending $500 or $600 to go to a comp. You can go to one of them. It sounds like for about $200. So
Yeah, and we did that this past weekend. Eric and I, the entry fees were 125, So it's $250 on the entry fees. We spent $70 on ribs.
Right.
I mean, we already had injections, right, and all of
Right.
that.
Right. That's
And
very
so,
inexpensive.
yeah. And then the cool thing about my rib injection, I make enough to where I could probably inject 6 ribs, but I usually inject 3, and then I throw it away. But I
Right.
did want to give everybody a pro tip. I'm going to give my rib injection away.
Okay.
You ready?
Let's hear it.
It's 2 tablespoons of wildcatter and 2 tablespoons of pork cutta and water.
There you go.
So
Simple.
it's not now. I'm not going to tell you what liquid I use,
There you go.
but or how much of the liquid I use,
Right.
but it's literally 2 tablespoons of wildcatter, 2 tablespoons of pork cutta.
There you go. Just a
It
mild
was.
tone down.
It's a good flavor. Because, I mean, as I said, it got me 20th at this week in Austin, which is not my best score, but it was one of my
Right.
best meats. So
Right.
it's a good flavor, savory.
Yep.
Yeah.
100%. Well, guys, I tell you what, it's been a great show. We really do appreciate y'all coming on tonight, and huge weekend, man. 57 teams, first place rib. That's pretty awesome. It's got you qualified now for the World Championship. So whoever gets a first place finish gets to go cook the World Championship at the end of the year. Well, it'll be in January of next year.
Yep.
Big, huge payout, a lot of money for that. So y'all are qualified for that, so that's pretty cool. So
And Memphis in May.
Oh
we
yeah,
qualified for
and y'all
Memphis
got
in May.
the hit for going to Memphis in May as well. So that's
We
huge
sure did.
right there.
I'll sell the truck.
I'm sorry.
I'll sell the truck to be able to be able to afford it.
Yeah, that's for
Yeah,
sure.
well, that's why I'm my teammates are people
Bringing in the
that
deep pocket. Is that what
Yeah,
you're
the-
saying?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. You got Hatcher and you got Justin in there,
strategic.
man. You're good to go with that. So
Yeah.
anyway,
We
So
sent a
you'll
message.
see us there.
that's
We
We're
sent
going to be
message.
doing. Go ahead.
No, I was like, we sent a message to Joe Osteen. We're hoping that the Prayer Network with Joe Osteen
yeah. There you go.
will help us out.
That's it.
There'll be a few of us there this week. This in Memphis in May. We'll be doing some seasoning stuff and
Awesome.
That's good.
hanging out. So we got to
Yep.
be a good time to see you guys do good.
That's
We've
good.
never
Yeah.
been. So,
Yeah, we never been. That's a
Never
bucket
been.
list.
I've never been.
we're
My
excited.
first time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
so
gonna be fun.
Well, let's go do it.
we look at it as we try to do it as an experience,
right.
right? Like the Houston Rodeo is an experience, but it's one that takes you 2 weeks to recover from.
Yeah.
Memphis in May a little bit less maybe, but yeah,
Right.
we're looking forward to being out there and meeting new people and seeing old people. I know Ubon's barbecue will be out there. Leslie Rourke, and we haven't seen her the last 2 years at the Houston Rodeo. So
Right.
Eric and her, they put on red lipstick together, and they say red lips win championships. So
There you go. That's it.
we're looking forward to hanging
We're
out
keeping
with.
the red lip.
Yeah,
There
we're
you
looking
go.
forward to
There
hanging
you
out.
go. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate it. Thank y'all so much for being here. Really good show tonight. A lot of good information. We really do appreciate y'all being here.
Thanks for having us.
Can't wait to see y'all. I don't know when I'm going to see you again. I've got several cooks coming up in the Dallas area in the next month. So
Where are you going next? What next
I'm
cook are you
cooking,
going to be
I'm,
in
cook,
Dallas?
I'm cooking this weekend in Bow Bridge. So if I win
Right.
that one, it's an automatic deal to the Memphis in May as well. And then after that, I'm going to. There's one I think in Glen Heights. There's Saginaw. There's Gilmer. Man, I've got a lot of competitions. I got like six competitions in a row. April's complete. The last weekend of March, all of April, and the first weekend of May are completely full. So
Saginaw is 5 minutes. That cook off in Saginaw is 5 minutes from our house,
there you go.
and we're going to be cooking pizza for all the cooks on Saturday night.
Heck yeah, I'm definitely coming. So
Awesome.
anyway, all right. Well, I appreciate you guys being here. Congratulations again, Aaron, brother, as always, man. Thank you for
Appreciate
joining
it.
us. Lee couldn't make it tonight, and we kind of told you all about that. But hopefully next week he'll be able to make it
Get
with
out of
us.
here.
So anyway, but I do appreciate everybody being with us tonight. Y'all have a great week for the rest of this week. And as we always say, y'all go out there, have a lot.